Hey everyone, Skylinks here bringing you another video review. In my Batman 7 review, I said I pride myself on being a totally unbiased reviewer. And it's reviews like this is really going to define me as being a good reviewer and a bad reviewer, and whether I deliver on that promise. Batman City of Crime. Take a look at the cover first. Quite a beautiful cover. Batman City of Crime takes place during the War Crime Saga. And in that, Batman was the darkest he's ever been in the modern age. Even darker after Jason Todd died. This is where Batman is utterly, completely, the most uncomfortably and scary darkest. Now, if you ask me to describe City of Crime in one word, I would kick you in the nuts and say, fuck off. But if you put a gun to my head and I really had to, I would say utterly, completely fucking confusing. Actually, that was more like 5 words, but despite the point, it is a confusing book. Now, the main premise is a girl dies, and this girl has some weird pseudo-relationship with Bruce Wayne, and it only lasted about 5 minutes. It wasn't anything deep, but for some reason he made some kind of connection to this girl. And after she went missing, or after she died, Batman made a promise to the mother to find the killer. And he goes off on this huge, epic, long, dragged-out mission to find out who the killer of the girl was. People from his rogue gallery like the Penguin and Mr. Freeze show up. Mr. Freeze is completely crazy in this. He just goes off and he goes utterly insane. It's just out of character for him. Actually, if I have to say the one stable thing in this whole entire book was the Penguin, who stayed true to his character in being corrupt bureaucracy. Now, that brings me on to the whole entire story. I didn't know what was happening half the time. It is confusing. You're going to have to read this a few times, because you don't know who the bad guy is. Even when the bad guy reveals himself, you don't know who he is. He's some faceless piece of shit that isn't revealed until the very end. Well, he does reveal himself, but he really doesn't reveal himself until the end. And if you guys are confused, you should be, because I'm even confused by what I'm saying, and I'm describing it to the best situation that I can. Now, with the story being kind of, how should I say, dragged out and confusing, and almost, how should I say, useless, there are some good points to this graphic novel. It is thick, and that does work against the graphic novel because it drags out the story. However, there is a lot to read. The art is fantastic. I'm not going to hold it against it. The art is really good. And the dialogue is very nicely done. Batman City of Crime really is an example of when you try to do your best to take a step outside of what you're normally used to doing and failing in that. Batman City of Crime tries to take a step outside the box, but unfortunately without it being in the box crumbles. You know, I commemorate the writers as much as I can because it really was them taking a risk. And I commemorate anyone for trying something different and trying to take a risk. However, it just didn't work in this situation. Again, the dialogue was nice, the art was nice. I just felt the story was very weak and confusing. Now, if I could describe this in the best way, Batman City of Crime is like that girl you see at a frat party when you're really, really drunk. She looks hot, and you're gonna do her, but once you get inside her, you find out it was a bad idea. I guess the really great thing about City of Crime is the fact that it's really not important to the Batman timeline. It's one small case that takes place during the War Crime Saga. You don't need it to understand anything that's happening during that huge saga. It's not really necessary at all. So, avoiding it will not hurt you as a reader. However, I have known people out there to actually enjoy this book. Like I said, the dialogue is good, and the writing is good, and the art is fantastic. It's just really a horribly confusing, stupid story. So, I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to have to say avoid this comic as much as you can. And I really hate saying that because someone actually requested I review this, and I don't want to break their hopes. But it really wasn't a good graphic novel. Now, if you're a die-hard Batman fan like me, you're going to pick it up, whether you like it or not. Just take it for what it's worth, and understand the warning that I gave you. It's going to be confusing, the story's going to be weak. Yeah, there's a few fine points, and it does try its best to do something different. But even trying your best to do something different isn't enough. With that said, I'm going to end you guys by saying, please avoid this graphic novel if you can. With that said, this is Skylink saying peace out for now.